This is an easy and energizing morning practice for core strength, good posture, and to keep healthy your back, shoulders, and neck muscles. Let's start in child pose and come up to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Most important that you don't round your back, you keep straight your back all the time, and you're pushing your sitting bones up to the sky, and you push and you widen the distance between the sitting bones. See that the outer edge of your leg is strong, and you can bend a little bit the knee, and intermediately you can bend one knee and the other and bring it close to your abdomen. See that your lower back muscle get relaxed. If you want, you can continue on forearms and just try to relax your shoulders, and you can keep bending your knees, and also it doesn't matter if your feet doesn't touch the ground. Most important that the ball of your feet is touching the ground. Let's continue with Adho Mukha Svanasana one leg version. First, you try to bring some energy to the knees and make space in the body. See that your joints are strong and are flexible. And if you want, you can bend your knee, bring your heels close to the buttock, and try to bring the two hip bone next to each other. Let's change leg, let's try to the other side, and you should bring the two hip bone in one line. After, let's start with the waving. It's an excellent exercise to move the spine vertebra by vertebra. See how you can ground with your leg and with your arms, and make connection between the hip and between the spine. See that do you use the bandhas, especially the shoulder bandha, you keep strong your armpit. And if you want, you can do the ball version, the big wave, when we're going from Adho Mukha Svanasana to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, from downward facing dog to upward facing dog. Meanwhile, moving the body vertebra by vertebra, keeping the legs and the arms strong. Let's relax for a few breaths. Lengthen your spine. If child pose is difficult for you, make bigger space between the knee, and then it will become easier. We will start with 4 easy core strengthening exercises. First, we will stay in static plank pose, one of the best pose for core strength. We will stay 30-40 seconds for beginners, but if you are an advanced, you can go till 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. 4 minutes is a very good advanced position. It burns out all the karma from your body. See that your heels are strong, see that you ground it with your palm and with the ball of your feet, and see that your body is straight. You're using the bandhas, especially the Mula bandha and Kati bandha, the hip bandha. Bandhas are energy locks into the body, which gives you energy, core strength, and protect the spine, and keep healthy the joints. Next, we will continue with the abdomen strengthening. Bring one and the other knee close to one or both elbow. See that your buttock don't go up towards Adho Mukha Svanasana, but it remains down in plank pose. You're using your psoas muscle, and you try to bring the knee as forward as possible. You can do 6 or 8 rounds from this exercise. Core strengthening, it's really important, especially if you want to do inversions and if you want to do hand balance postures. Again, we will relax a little bit. It's very important that for one muscle group you do an exercise, you do at least 3-4 rounds, because 2 rounds is not enough to improve the muscle. If you want to see real improvement, then you need to do at least 3-4 rounds from one type of exercise. Next, we will continue with the running. We will only run 30-40 seconds, but feel free to make longer rounds. The longer you do one round, the easier it will burn the karma. See that you're keeping your hip all the time low. When you finish, relax a little bit, breathe into the back of your rib cage. Exhale should be longer than inhale. We will start with the standing posture in Uttanasana. See that your psoas muscle is going right inside the body. Your sitting bones, you're pushing up and widen the space between the sitting bones, and you keep your lower back very straight. Abdomen is long and very close to the thighs. You can swing back and forth or side to side. It's really good to make bigger space between the vertebrae. Each morning before you wake, after you wake up, you should move the vertebrae, you should lengthen the space between them, and after move the spine in all directions. Spine is connected with the nervous system and with the internal organs of the body. Very important, moving the spine every morning to keep the body healthy in the long term. Next, we will continue again with a little bit spine movement. Make circles with your core. See that the circle you make to the front and to the back as well. Meanwhile, keeping very grounded your feet, your knees strong, and you make connection between the thighs and hip muscle. Next, we will do waves with the spine. Start the wave from your sacrum and see as the wave going through your body up to your head and back, vertebra by vertebra. It doesn't matter how it looks from outside, more important how you feel from inside. And without stopping, let's try the other direction. At the beginning it can be difficult, but it's extremely good for your spine. And if you do it for 5-10 minutes, it can have a good effect for menstruation, for women organs, and for hormones as well. Next come with legs wide apart, hands on the back of the neck, and come to one side, make a round, and come back at the other side. See how your spine is moving, meanwhile how you're grounding with your hip and with your feet. Bring energy at the back of your knee. You must use the bandha, especially the mula bandha and the kati bandha, the hip bandha, especially for back bending. Here we will do a very light back bending from the Mackenzie exercises as well. So when you're sitting or standing more than half an hour, you should do this exercise to push back the sacrum into the body. Just steer the pelvis below you and see that the mula bandha is, we do the mula bandha by raising the pubic bone and grounding with the tailbone. That's very important to close the gap at the bottom, bottom of the hip. And we do the kati bandha, the hip bandha, by pushing the sacrum into the body and pushing the psoas muscle to the front, lengthening the psoas muscle. In general, a body is more energetic the more narrow it is. So try to make the body as narrow as you can from the side. So try in when you are standing, sitting or walking, and when you're doing the asanas, try to bring back the muscle and the muscles to your bones. Next we will do an easy balancing exercise. See how you're grounding with your feet and engage the back muscles of your leg, and see how active the psoas muscle in one leg and how lengthening at the other leg. Push the sacrum inside the body, push the spine inside the body. Next we will continue to make rounds with the leg. Very important to warm up the hip muscles. If you don't move from the hip during the day, then you will move from the lower back, and this can cause you problem in long term. So it's better to warm up the hip muscles around the hip joints so you can use them instead of the lower back. Next we continue a little bit more opening the psoas muscle. Grab your ankle with one or two legs and bring the spine inside the body. Ground with the supporting leg, and what you have to do, bring the sacrum into the body while you're bringing the thighs back, like this, creating an opposing forces inside the body. Let's do to the other leg. This exercise, this asana can help you a great deal to see what are the things to improve in your leg. Just stay in this position for 2-3 minutes and you will learn a lot about the legs and how you use your leg muscle, your hip, and what it needs to be corrected or improved. Asanas from outside static, but inside using dynamic forces, and we're using the forces of the environment, the gravity and other forces. Like this, we can improve on our bone structure, our joints, and in our the muscles inside the body. Let's continue with another standing forward bend, which is really good for the hip muscles. So always try to always do the forward bend from your hip muscles and not from your waist, using the psoas muscle and pushing out the sitting bones from the body. You can bend a little bit your knees if you need, but keep the heels grounded. I will show you from the side. And you can use 2 blocks, so like this we can lengthening the spine more. See that your lower back and your lower abdomen is the same distance, you're lengthening the same time. Usually we have all the lower back problem because our lower abdomen is falling down, and like this we have imbalanced muscle structure, and if you correct the muscles, the balance between the front side and the back side of your body, then you can improve a lot. Here we're doing some spine twisting. Now a little bit deeper spine twisting. In general, if we do a quick practice, we keep the breath for 5 breaths in each posture. And if you want, you can interlock your fingers behind and just push it towards the ground, meanwhile lengthening your abdomen. When you come up, push your heels down so you don't come up from your lower waist, you come up with the help of your heels. We will do the Gomukhasana, the cow face hand. It's very good for spine muscles and for shoulder muscles. If this is difficult for you, just grab a rope or a towel. Let's do for both sides. Try to bring the forehead close to the knee and change hands as well. One side maybe will be easier than the other. Next time, let's come to a little bit more hip and leg correction. We will prepare ourselves for Garudasana, the eagle pose. If you want, you can do Garudasana as well. And just see how you're balancing on your feet. A trick for balancing is to be on the heels, engage the back of the leg, and push down the ball of the big toe. Also, if you try to keep yourself with the bone gravity instead of keeping yourself with your muscles, then it can give you a lot of stability. Next, let's go with Utkatasana, strengthening the leg a little bit more, and after lengthening the spine, interlock your fingers behind. See that you're arching with your back, and after rounding your back, meanwhile keeping the sitting bones in one level, and bring the forearm close to your knee, and after come up by pushing up with your heels. Let's continue with some abdomen exercise. There is not real abdomen exercise except Navasana in the general asana sequence, but I keep very important every second day to include in the asana sequence of abdomen exercise. Now we will start with the bicycling, do 60 or 80 rounds, which approximately is between 1 and 2 minutes. And see that you try to raise your shoulder blades and you're pushing with your heels away. Bring dynamism, bring energy into your body while doing this position. I included abdomen exercises, which is very healthy for the spine, so it doesn't put a lot of strain in the spine. So these exercises you can do if you have any herniated disc or any other back or spine problem. After relaxing, let's do the next one, little crunches, and try to bring the palms up to your knee and back. 20 rounds. Raise your leg, keep them vertical to the ground, and try to reach with your fingers, your toes, 20 rounds. And lastly, spread the legs wide apart and little crunches. And if you want, you can go to Baddha Konasana with the leg. Just see that your the side of your feet doesn't touch the ground. That's not an easy version, but it's strengthening the abdomen and the hips at the same time. If you finish, then come to low Setu Bandhasana and just move your hip to one side and to the other side, making little circles, relaxing the abdomen muscles. Next, we will continue with inversions. You should never leave out inversions from your practice. Let's start with Setu Bandhasana. This you can do even if you have a herniated disc or neck problem. It will feel great. You can put two blocks like on the video, or you can put one block in standing position, and first come up, make a big arch with your spine. After, come to your toes and like this put the block just below your sacrum. See that the block doesn't reach your lower spine, only your sacrum. Place the heels back to the ground, relax the sacrum, lengthen the abdomen, lengthen your chest, and relax your shoulders. Relax the back of the neck. If you want, you can work a little bit away with your legs. And this exercise, it feels very good for 2-3 minutes. But if you want to do variation for your hip posture correction, then you can raise one leg, first bend it, and after you can straighten the leg. Just see how your muscles working, how your hips is corrected meanwhile you're doing this posture. And if you have problem with your spine, so you cannot do the Sarvangasana full version, you can do it with a block, like on the video. And it's better if you grab the block with your hand, so it doesn't fall out. When you finish, relax a little bit. Next, we will go with Sarvangasana. You should only do this posture if you have a healthy spine. If you have a weak core strength, you should do it at the wall. See that you never bring your leg close to the front. You always keep your hip forward and the thighs back. And if you do it right, you should hardly see your toes. See that you are on your shoulders, the two elbow and the two upper arm getting closer together, and see that you get a tension in your legs. You pushing up with your leg, you bring energy into your legs, so you don't let everything to fall into your neck. You can point and flex alternatively with your legs, and you can also do Tratak eye movements if you like in the posture. You can go up to 10 minutes, or you can do variation in the posture for beginner or for intermediate depending on your level. Sarvangasana has myriad of beneficial effect. This together with the Shirsasana you should practice every day. Come to Halasana. If it's difficult to put your toes into the ground, then make bigger space between the legs and then it will be easier. And see that you're pushing up with your psoas muscle, so you're keeping your lower back straight, that your sitting bones is directing towards the sky. You can protect your waist with your hands, give support with your hands, and keep the spine into the body. Bring some energy to the knee muscles. Karnapidasana you should do only if you are an advanced student. Otherwise, you just place your knee to your forehead. But if you are stretched enough, then you can try to place your knee towards next to your ears. And lastly, we'll do some supine rotation of the spine. And after, just relax in Shavasana for 5-10 minutes. You should never finish the practice without relaxation, because we used also internal energies during the practice, and if you don't relax after the asana sequence, then maybe you will get more tired after the sequence than you were before. Thank you for watching. Hope this video will help you with your practice. If you have any question, leave a comment or write an email. Have a good day.